Hello everybody, fellow YouTubers, Hamster Sales here with another Starcraft 2 commentary. This time we have a couple of Nerdy Shore regulars. This is from a previous Nerdy Shore tournament sent in to me by Deatheire. This is, he believed it was the finals from one of his tournament games. Deatheire playing random and spawning as Protoss in the lower right on Darim altar. His opponent AvRiku. If you're Nerdy Shore forum regulars, you know both of these guys. They participate in all the tournaments, or most of the tournaments. I myself have played AvRiku in the one tournament I participated in, and I was actually matched up against Deatheire in the finals, but actually he had some real-life circumstances he had to attend to, so we weren't able to play out our games. He sent me these emails. Deatheire sent me this email. It is the final game of a best-of-5 series. I'm not going to spoil the number of games or who won what number of games because that would let you guys know the result ahead of time. Deatheire just wanted me to send this in because it was a great game that he played between AvRiku in one of those Nerdy Shore weekly tournaments, which you should definitely check out. If you're not familiar with Nerdy Shore, it is Husky's fan site, but it has a pretty cool community. They have a forum dedicated to new commentators or just commentary in general. So check them out. It's a great StarCraft 2 community, and both these guys participate in a lot of the tournaments. I myself have only made the one, and I kind of lucked my way into the finals. Had a very good series with AvRiku. I believe we played a best of 3, and each won a game, and then he came with some crazy awesome cheese on me, and I was able just to barely hold it off and advance against Deatheire, who unfortunately as soon as the game started had to deal with some real-life circumstances, which always takes precedence over StarCraft, of course. So, yeah, I've been meaning to get back to play another Nerdy Shore tournament. Oh, check out that sick rally there by AvRiku, all those queued patrol points. Nice for a change to see a Zerg denying an early Protoss fast expand. Very cool. But, yeah, hopefully I can get back and play that game. Play a game in the tournament again. It's been too long. It's very hard for me to play on Sundays is when Nerdy Shore holds its weekly tournament. But hopefully I'll be able to get back and do that again sometime soon. Deatheire going, of course, for Forge Fast Expand here, as I was babbling on about my past experience in the tournaments from Nerdy Shore. But some good denial there by AvRiku, even though Protoss able to spend the rest of his resources not pooling over 400 minerals. But in the meantime, AvRiku has taken what I'd say has to be an early lead, able to expand before his Protoss opponent. But would like to see him maybe challenge this wall off by Deatheire. This drone may last long enough to see how the wall off is coming along, but Forge Fast Expand I think is still a very fragile build for Protoss. Some players are certainly better at it than others, but as a Zerg I always like to challenge the Forge Fast Expand, or else just expand like a madman in response. Take a very early third around like 6 or 7 minutes, even if I don't have the drone saturation for it. Just try to match that Protoss in economy, because you just let them sit on 2 base for this early in the game, they're going to get a pretty nasty force to push out with, or in a map like this they might just take their third way too easily. So you want to catch up in any way you can, either with some kind of roachling all-in as Zerg, or just expand like a madman yourself. So that's what we have going on here. Relatively standard. I think it was a 15 hatch from AvRiku against Forge Fast Expand from Deatheire. Which, I said he was denying it, but Deatheire really just played calmly, kept his econ going, got tech structures, wasn't pulling minerals behind it, so he wasn't really delayed. It's kind of a lot like when a Protoss player thinks they're delaying your fast expansion as a Zerg, but really you're going for a later, like 20 hatch, something like that, which is pretty much always what I do. I was tired of having my expo denied. It's a terrible feeling sitting on 450 minerals that early in the game. But yeah, fairly standard early game going on. We'll see how AvRiku got, and he's doing what I was talking about, an extremely early third expansion before the 6-minute mark. And relatively soon he could also work on taking down this base. So super fast 4 base for Zerg would be a great, or even this third base is a great response to what Deatheire has done here. I don't think, given him props for playing random. I love players that play random. I've always kind of wanted to myself, but I'm not good enough to remember all those strategies, and I want to win. I get frustrated if I don't win enough. But Deatheire leaving this wall exposed for the moment. Still a big gap here, so had Deatheire gone for some speedlings, he would have been able to take advantage of him. It doesn't even take too many to test the wall off of your Protoss opponent. Build 8 around 6 to 8 Zerglings. You could, as soon as you have speed up, you can. Here we go, 18 Lings coming in for AvRiku. So we may be seeing such a that kind of a test against Deathaire's wall. He has a single cannon. If he's able to wall this off, he may be able to hold it off with a single cannon. But 18, all those Lings are going to get huge surface area to attack all 3 of these buildings. And he, the pylon will actually ironically be the strongest part of the wall because you can't get much surface area on it to attack. But yeah, we're gonna have to see AvRiku maybe just producing these Lings for defense, but really it takes so long for a Protoss on Forge Fast Expand to build any kind of a decent army. So really with these Lings, I'd like to see him challenge the wall. He may be waiting for speed, which would be wise. Gonna be able to take out this scouting probe, but Deatheire now sees the number of Lings on the field. Is going to have to respond with a complete wall off, I think, or just be completely on top of his sentry micro. Make sure to force field that off, but single force field from the sentry, not going to be able to hold off all these Lings with just a single photon cannon and sentry to support. So yeah, that could be a complete wall off. I mean, I have no idea if there's an area to get through. Yeah, no, that's a complete wall off. That is strong. So Zerg not going to be able to get in here unless he breaks down one of the buildings. Probably not going to elect to do that. It's extremely scary to try to take down buildings with photon cannons firing at you. I don't think he could do it anyway. So once AvRiku pokes in here, he's probably going to see that all hopes of busting in are lost. Unless he goes for a Baneling Nest. I haven't missed that while I've been babbling, have I? No. If he goes for a Baneling Bust, he could certainly destroy this pylon and flood in with tons of Lings. It's a risky strategy, but it doesn't take too many Lings to bust down a pylon. I think it takes like 5 or something like that. But wait, they have 300, or am I just blind? Oh, that's 200. I apologize. I record at a slightly lower resolution than I'm used to, just to keep it YouTube friendly. So yeah, they do have 400 life, just like I thought. So it would take 5 Banelings to bust that down, 80 times 5 to bust that down. But oh my god, AvRiku just producing tons and tons of Lings, and is getting that Baneling Nest, so he does want to bust down Deatheire here. Deatheire going to have to be completely on top of his force field micro of this sentry. Baneling's no doubt going to go for this pylon in the bottom of the wall off. But if he gets enough Banelings, he could bust down the forge and the gateway at the same time and just rush this huge number of Lings in. Deatheire has to know this is coming, or at least as a possibility. AvRiku, of course, probably not going to be aware of the observer, so just morphing his Banelings in plain sight of Deatheire, who's going to hopefully warp in some sentries is really what you need to prevent this. You need tons of force fields to stop a huge Baneling bust like this. He's going to be able to take out the forge and the gateway, or both gateways simultaneously, with that number of Banelings. So we'll see how AvRiku executes this. It's not too hard to run the Banelings in, but you want to make sure they detonate and hit 2 of these buildings at once. Force field already going down from Deatheire. Nice force fields preventing them from getting the Banelings getting in where they want to. They're going to hit this pylon though. Oh my god, they take out all the Zealots, but the Colossus in a perfect position to annihilate those Banelings. I'm not sure if he was just attack moving and got fortunate. Need another force field? Yes! Stops most of the Lings. Very well done. AvRiku could take out this gateway though. Would have been tough with the Colossus firing on the Lings, but if he had persisted there, I think he could have done pretty well, but lost his Zealots and now 2 Colossi in the field, so AvRiku making the correct move to back out, even though he's got these Lings here. Could have done some crazy run by action potentially, but probably correct move to back out. He does run by, yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. You can get your Lings into the opponent's base, do some economic damage, cause some panic, and hopefully macro at the same time. Getting Corruptors to take out the Colossi. I don't think he really intends these to be Broodlords anytime soon. So that's a great move. Ling Corruptor not the best against Colossi, just because if you engage for any amount of time against Colossi with Lings, you're gonna get massacred. So gonna hopefully see some additional tech from AvRiku. How is his saturation everywhere? He does have 47 workers, actually down a harvester to his Protoss opponent, but does have superior number of bases, so and the distribution of drones is pretty nice. So he's still gonna have, well, theoretically he should have a better income. I don't know why the Protoss is better. Maybe he has a more even probe distribution. I'm not sure, but yeah, with 60 workers now, some of them in transit, you're gonna see the income jump for AvRiku shortly. And is looking primarily just getting Corruptors. Would like to see Roaches support those Corruptors, just because Colossi are so devastating against Lings. Lings clump up whenever they start engaging anything, so Those Colossus shots are extremely effective. Colossus, I believe, two-shot Zerglings. Yeah, 2 times 17. With another attack upgrade, they'll one-shot him, and with multiple Colossi firing, your Lings melt in a hurry. Corruptors, of course, can be super effective, but with no ground army to finish off the Protoss force, you're going to be in trouble. Deatheire spotting a changeling there. Very good spot. Got a good spot by him. That's something I'm probably the worst at in the world, is spotting changelings. I think I've killed maybe 2 changelings ever, and they were just the most obvious changelings in the world. AvRiku trying to get his 4th base up here, while Deatheire takes his 3rd. And given the number of harvesters, I think AvRiku will be in a solid economic lead, but he really needs to improve his unit mix at this point in time. Deatheire maybe doesn't have the force necessary to push out and completely destroy the Zerg, but he's getting there. He has the ability to produce Colossi, and he's pulling a good amount of money, just like his Zerg opponent, so we're going to see where the army mix goes. Riku electing to get Mutalisks, which is a good choice against Colossi, honestly. And they're pretty cost-effective against Stalkers. I mean, Blink Stalkers are quite good against Muta, and the Protoss does have +1 upgrades, so these are going to be quite good against these Mutalisks. Going to take some really good micro from AvRiku to make good use of these Mutalisks. Deatheire certainly has enough Stalkers, but given the terrain and the nature of this map, he could do some harassment here, fly right over to the main, do some harassment here, then loop around, do some harassment here. So Mutas on this map, very good, and in general, probably underused against Protoss. I don't use them too much myself, just because they're not super effective. I mean, Stalkers are pretty fast, capable anti-air, but we're gonna have to see here. Able to take out a ton of probes, so these Mutas starting to pay for themselves already. The force for Deatheire coming in, and he does have Blink, so he's going to be able to do lots of damage to these Mutas. But like I said, yep, just looping around to the main base, meeting some Stalkers there. He does have probably enough Mutas here to just engage these Stalkers straight up as he's doing here. Going to get pretty good efficiency. Hasn't lost too many Mutas yet, but the main force of Stalkers for Deatheire, unfortunately blinking to that low ground. Probably still the fastest way for them to get over here. Blink doesn't have the longest cooldown, 10 seconds, so... but the Muta's able to do tons of damage, clearing out a few more probes here, I believe, while I was focused on something else. And then here's the Mother Load, cashing in, getting tons of probe kills. Probably backing out a little too soon there. There he goes, back in. Only a single Stalker to support here, getting tons and tons of damage done with his Muta harass. Losing quite a few Mutas in the process, as is too often the case against Blink Stalkers, but some pretty effective harass done, and a huge economy now for AvRiku. Hasn't really droned up anymore, but he does have the 60 harvesters, and he doesn't have the 4th base up yet, but 3 base 60 harvesters is a pretty good spot to be in. Means he's not going to be fully saturated everywhere. He has cut quite a few from his main, even though they're lower on resources. Still like to see a few more there, and of course the 4th base. But getting infestors, which is the money unit against Protoss these days. Fungal growth, so effective against Stalkers. Trying to make good use out of these Lings, but he's got to get them out of here. They're trapped against those force fields. Oh gosh, that must have been 20 Lings just completely roasted in seconds there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You want to keep your Lings completely far away from Colossus. Once Protoss gets into 3rd tier, for the most part, your Lings become almost useless. Good attempt there to make use out of them, trying to harass the 3rd base, but Deatheire all over it, able to cut off the counterattack before it happened. The harassment attack before it happened, I should say. And now feels confident to move out across the map, having killed maybe 20 Zerglings. And these, oh my god, a couple more dozen Zerglings maybe getting roasted there, maybe closer to 15. And going to be engaging with these Lings straight off, which is going to be brutal. A couple good fungals going down, some decent damage on these Colossi. All these Colossi are likely going to fall to the Corruptors, so AvRiku going to take out that expensive Colossus ball there. They have almost nowhere to run. Gotta get them back to your Stalkers, man. Here come the Stalkers. Not sure where those were, but blinking in to take out the Corruptors, but all the Colossi dead. Corruptors have done their job. That was maybe... Yeah, I would say that's a favorable trade for the Zerg, given the number of Corruptors lost and the number of Colossi lost. Colossi is so expensive. I don't know the exact cost. I don't think this will tell me what... Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, 300, 200 for Colossi. When it's only 150, 100 per Corruptor, so... don't have the exact number counts there, but let's take a look at the units lost. Zerg way far behind. He's lost a lot of Zerglings and those Corruptors just now, and a few Infestors to Deatheire, and Deatheire really has only lost those Colossi and a few Sentry to this point, so being much more cost effective as Protoss often is. Now has tons of Immortals, which are actually pretty terrible against what AvRiku has, except he's gone for Banelings, which are pretty awful against Immortals. Banelings can be decent against these Stalkers, but God, Baneling's not the best choice here. Force Field's completely nullifying them. No Baneling speed. Speedlings honestly probably would have been much more effective there. They're great against Immortals and Stalkers. Unfortunate to see that. AvRiku going to be backing off with these Zerglings. Getting a surround on a couple Stalkers. Yeah, you can see how effective Zerglings here. A huge number of Stalkers are just firing on these Zerglings, but it takes forever for a Stalker to kill a Zergling. These Immortals are going to be devastating against this hatchery, though. Yeah, here they go. Going to be completely massacring it as soon as they deal with these few defending Zerglings. Expect to see a GG here any moment. I mean, really nothing AvRiku can do here with it, given his unit mix. Pulling tons of resources, unfortunately, not able to produce the army necessary to kill his opponent. 9 Muta's not going to do anything against the anti-air of Deatheire here. So, yeah, I expect a GG any moment here. Don't have it yet. Here comes end of the game, I believe. Any second now. AvRiku does have the basis to keep playing here, though, so good for him to keep it up, try to come back here. He's going to see what he can do with these 9 Mutas. May be able to take out some of these Stalkers. Mutas, like I said before, decently cost-effective against Stalkers. Stalkers, of course, a little bit better in a straight-up fight like this. And, of course, with Immortal and Sentry support. There we go. Some nice fungals there. Fungu going down on Deatheire, but not going to be enough, man. The Protoss force has gotten too strong. Would take lots of production. A couple Infestors rallying to their doom there. Would take lots more production than AvRiku has at this point to save himself, to save all his tech structures, which are going to slowly bleed to death, although Deatheire not electing to directly finish them off. Instead, going to go for any potentially mining bases. Assumes his opponent would have a base here, but I think he spotted there was no such base. At the moment, kind of indecisive about where he's going. Going to take out this Baneling nest, but Deatheire has played very effectively throughout this game. Held off some Zergling Baneling pressure there. Very cute attack from AvRiku, which came very close to finishing, but Colossi able to fend off those Zerglings there in that early Baneling bust attempt. So we're in the death throes here for AvRiku. Is gonna hopefully try to macro up some kind of force, but nothing in production. Maybe just wondering where it all went wrong. But a couple hatches up now, and I think he must have remade his spawning pool, or he just made those lings before it went down. Either way, last ditch attempt here. Tournament games, the deciding game in the series, in the best of 5 series. And AvRiku trying to play it out, trying to finish it, trying to come back here, but that is much too menacing. A Protoss force. Gonna be surrounding a couple Stalkers here, that's always good with your lings, but decent blink micro there, and able to clean up the remaining forces of AvRiku. Hate to see it, hate to see a fellow Zerg go down anytime, but props to the random player Deatheire for getting it done. Looks like he's gonna finish off his opponent here. A couple of pauses there, sorry about that. But Deatheire going to finish off everything, looks like. AvRiku, well played game there. I liked the Baneling bust attempt, but from there got some good Muta harass too. I like to see that from Riku. Like I said, Muta's probably underutilized in this matchup. He got some good harass there, but just didn't come out in the end. And AvRiku leaving the game. Great game there from both players. Not sure why he didn't GG. Often frustrating to get rolled over by a Protoss opponent there, especially if you figured you were ahead after that great meteor harass, as he might have figured he was ahead after that. But yeah, great game. Thanks guys for playing it. Thank you Deatheire for sending it in. And yeah, well, I'm not going to be I wasn't able to. He sent me all 4 games in the series. It was he won in 4 games. I wanted to commentate all of them, but it's going to be pretty rough for me in the next week to sneak commentaries in. Have some real life stuff to deal with, so gonna sneak them in when I can over the course of the next week, but you might not be seeing as many as I've been doing lately. But regardless, thanks for listening, and GG.